My name is Melissa Bauer, and you're welcome to PageNet TV. On today's episode, we'll be exploring peer pressure and virginity, the societal expectations, choices, and empowerment. So sit back, relax, and don't forget to like and subscribe. On today's episode, we'll be discussing peer pressure and virginity. And we have here today Madam Asha, who is a teacher. You're welcome, Madam Asha.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
By God's grace, I'm doing fine. Yourself?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. I feel breaking the virginity has been normalized as compared to back in the day.
Well, thank you very much. But then if you say it has been normalized, then in what sense? Because yes, some people still feel that being a virgin is a virtue.
Mm-hmm.
Others also feel that not being a virgin, they really have nothing to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And so they can just do anything. And then in these days, everywhere you hear, they would rather sensitize the youth or people about using contraceptives. So in their minds, virgins don't even exist.
Okay.
You know, so they will rather show you how to use contraceptives or protect yourself so that you don't contract any sickness.
Right.
And so if you say, well, virgins, breaking virginity, it has been normalized. Nobody's talking about it. You hardly even hear it these days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think it's having a positive or negative impact on, for example, let's say the youth, we are more engrossed in trying to break our virginity because our friends are telling us, our friends are sharing their experiences. So it's being normalized right now. Is it a positive thing or a negative thing for us? Let me put it that way. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. But obviously, it's a negative thing.
How
is
would
a
you describe
negative
it?
thing. I will say it's negative because when you are young
Mm-hmm.
and you are schooling, you haven't gotten any proper job, or even you are out of school, whatever you are doing, being sexually active has a lot of, things, negative things. Aside getting pregnant, we know that, yes, when you get pregnant, there is a baby that comes out of it, yes. But then you contract sicknesses, diseases. And recently, in the news, there was a research that showed that now the prevalence of HIV in Ghana has skyrocketed.
No.
And it means that people are actually going into sex.
Okay.
And then again, just last week, there was report on teenage pregnancy.
Okay.
So you see, the young ones, the adolescents, as well as the youth, they are all into sex. And I think it's rather damage their future, if you like, than give them something positive. You could break out, you could just drop out of school. If you are a male, then it means you need to find work and cater for the mom and the child as well. And so it also affects your education.
Okay.
Yeah.
But from what I have noticed, I don't really think it really affects the males. It rather affects more females than males, because I feel like when they have sex with a woman and yes, the lady ends up being pregnant, most of them just go about their lives. I mean, I'm not the one with the big belly, it's the woman. So would you really say most men would drop out of school just to take care of their unborn child and maybe the rest of the family? But I don't see it happening often. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. But in some families, strict families, they will tell you that if you have put a woman or a girl in a family way, then you should find work to cater for the child and the mom.
Okay.
But some families who don't really care about what is happening, they will just let the boy, continue with his education. And then in some cases, they will even protect their son and say he may not be the person responsible for the pregnancy.
Okay.
And so, yes, you are right. It doesn't affect male much as it affects the female. Yeah. So you are right. But because of the prevalence of this teenage pregnancy and the rest, I think Ghana Education Service has also come up with a rule that when a girl is pregnant and she goes to give birth, she has a chance to come back to school and continue from where she left off. So in a way, they are giving some kind of help or support for the teenage girl.
So what about sex education? Is it being discussed in school as much as we want to discuss? Because you are saying that there's a high rate of teenage pregnancy. And so, what is the government doing to help the male and the female regarding sexual intercourse and the consequences? Because there's no reason for a child should be getting pregnant at 13.
Yeah.
And if it's not being discussed in schools or anything, I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
But even let's leave the government out of this. You know, right? We are all born into families.
Right.
We have parents. We have, if your parents are not there, you have your caregivers or your how do you call it? Your people who are guiding you to grow. In the first place, we don't have to sit down for the situation to get out of hand before we educate the young ones about sex, especially in this age of technology.
Sure.
Where a child holds telephone, gets a mobile phone, an Android phone with an internet, and can just go in there and type anything and watch anything.
That's true.
And so right from the beginning, I think we as caregivers or parents, you need to start the sensitization from home. So that when the child goes out, he or she is already aware of what is going on.
Okay.
Some parents, when they ask you, Mommy, what is this? You mention a different thing. Mommy, what is this? No, you have to let the child know the name of this,
right?
The name of that thing over there.
True.
You know,
True.
the accounts will tell you Akoshiakuma. They will also not know what Akoshiakuma is.
Yes,
but the child will come back from school and tell you, hey, they do this, they had this. I remember even those days in SS when we have biology and they are showing the female sex organ and the male sex organ.
Yes.
I mean, you know what happens in class.
Everybody's
and so
alive.
It is something that our culture, most of the time, they kind of, as if it's shrouded in secrecy. They wouldn't want to talk about it.
True.
But times have changed. Times have changed, and I think we need to keep up with the time, or else we'll see our youth going into something we wouldn't like. And so, for me, as early as 5 years, or even when the child begins to speak and has elderly people in the house, yes, they should know, because sometimes some parents, when you are bathing them, they touch, they know. They know. So let them know what it is.
True.
And then if you have young girls nowadays, you have people who can defile girls and boys as well.
That's true.
You know, you need to let them know so that when they go out and somebody is touching them wrongly, they will come back and report to you. And so for me, sex education should start right from the home.
Okay.
And then in our schools, our curriculum, it should be in there. We should talk about it. Our church, it should be in there. Generational groups, they should have programs that talk about this sex thing and what it leads to. And so for me, the education has to be more. At the government level, I'm sure that they will come up with contraceptives. And by contraceptives, they will think that, well, you already know what it is. And so then, if you know what it is and you're already into it, let me show you the way that you wouldn't go and contract sickness or have any complications or pregnancy and other things.
Okay. So with peers, what's the level of influence? How do peers influence other peers into having sex or breaking their virginity? I think that's another thing that's serious. Our peers actually sort of have a huge influence in our lives, apart from home. When we go out, we want to talk about certain things. So, I mean, your peers is the person you can truly open up to apart from your parent. Do you think they have a lot of influence in convincing people into doing things they don't want to do? Let me put it that way, instead of being specific on virginity.
Yeah, thank you. Peers, yes. Because nowadays, parents, we don't really have time for our children. You talk of the traffic situation even in Accra, it's headache. You would want to leave home as early as 5:30
in the morning.
And then by the time you get home, it's already late. And so our children or our youth, they relate more with their peers. And when they relate more with their peers, they converse, they chat, they discuss a whole whole lot of issues. And for me, I think this kind of early sex and those kind of, they are part of it. Relationships, they are part of it. You see a girl even in classes or a boy, and the boy has a girlfriend, the girl has the boy has a girlfriend, the girl also has a boyfriend.
That's true.
And so they talk about things. And my boyfriend loves me. She bought me this.
Yeah.
She bought me that. I am going to see my boyfriend. And when I went, and so you'll be curious.
Yeah.
What at all is it about you that you? And every day they are talking. And when you get to certain age, the hormones and other things begin to work in you and everything. And so you go back home, you sit down. Hey, what's a let me see. And so a boy comes along or a girl comes around, gives you scholarship. And then, of course, what they see on television, social media, a man, woman kissing. I mean, I love you, you love me, and then the next thing is sex. Definitely, they will go into it. So I'll say the peer pressure, it really influences what they hear, what they see. It pushes them into what they wouldn't want to do. Yeah.
But why would you hold your peer accountable? I feel like it's your choice. Yes, your friends do tell you that, oh yes, this boy will do something for you. Or I don't know how they say it. They make it sound so sweet. But I feel like it's still up to you to get up and make that decision and say, oh yes, I am ready to break my virginity, for example. Yes, I'm ready to break my virginity. So would you still blame your peers or yourself? Because I personally think it's still your personal decision to get up and break your virginity. You're not really, I won't blame my friend for telling me that, oh, go ahead and break your virginity. And I should have common sense to know that this is not the right time. I know, yes, but it's still my choice.
Yeah, it's your choice. Common sense, yes. But how many of our youth have that common sense you are talking about? When all they see everywhere is boy, girl, it is even these days that Valentine's Day, now they are trying to make it into Chocolate Day and other things. But then when you talk of Valentine, you talk of anything, February is coming and all the show is red and everything. And I mean, you also have attractive guys or attractive ladies around you and everything.
That's true.
And our media landscape, everything you see, relationships, are telenovelas. Okay. What do you see? Relationships. This person is in love with this one, and the next moment they are in bed and everything.
That's true.
So sometimes, yes, you are willing to at least control yourself.
Okay.
But the external factors of which peer pressure is part. What you see, if you don't take care, if God does not intervene,
true,
you go into it. As we started, it's normal now.
Yeah.
After all, somebody will tell you, if I go and do it, who will see it?
Yeah.
But then we'll see it when your tummy begins to float.
That's true.
And you don't have the means to take care of yourself.
That's true.
And then whatever is growing, inside you. And so peer is number one, influence. Number one, I would say number one, underlined. It pushes them into it.
Right.
It pushes them into it.
True.
Our dressing. My boyfriend does, my boyfriend that. Oh, my girlfriend's sister and this. And most of the time, it's the ladies, we suffer more.
Right.
We suffer more. A boy can go borrow some dress and some jeans and other things and take some money and take you out, to papaya and whatever it is. And you think you are, hey, you are beautiful, this and that. And then the next moment, touching. And like I said, the hormones, they are working.
True.
And so once you have those inner ones and then the external factors are also influencing it, if you don't take care, you fall for it. You will fall for it.
Me personally, I will not fall for it. Please don't take me to papaya. I will not fall for it.
When Indomie joints, came up.
That is even worse than
I
papaya.
understand somewhere in some parts of Ghana, a lot of the girls were getting pregnant because their boyfriends were buying them Indomie.
That's
in the evening, yes, Indomie.
I'm so sorry. I'm not shading Indomie. I feel like it's good meal, but Indomie shouldn't be the reason why you're opening your legs forever.
And then you are going to the beach, you are going to this show, you are going to this one, and everybody is moving with the boyfriend and you are alone You are sitting there. I mean,
I can't blame them. I still feel like it's still up to you. You have to stand strong and then believe in whatever you believe in. Because I would say personal experience. I will not say friends influenced me into breaking my virginity. I broke mine quite early. Yes, I'm sharing this in case my mother watches. I broke mine pretty early, but I did it after high school. It was still young because I finished high school at a very tender age, but I still waited. I didn't let anything. I didn't even go around listening. I heard people's stories, but it never really got me to the extent that I was, in a hurry to, break my virginity. I decided when I had a boyfriend, he was also a virgin. So I was like, okay, he's a
you're going to
virgin.
experiment.
Yes, so let's just experiment and then see how it
It
goes.
was
It
because
wasn't
of
a
what
great
you have been hearing.
no, but I knew the rules. I remember the first time I did it, I went to the pharmacy to get a contraceptive pill because I knew the measures I had to take. I knew what I was going on and I knew the complications. So I went there prepared. That's how I keep saying that friends didn't influence me. I had moments where people were trying to force me to break it. A guy was forcing me. I had to lie to him that in my hometown, if I break it and I'm not ready to get married, I'll be killed. Like I'll be there and I'll pass out in a minute, just to run out of it. But apart from that, I won't really say. Yes, I've heard friends talk about it, and I'm very open, so people really like to talk to me about these things. But it never really occurred to me that my friends are doing it, so I have to do it. No, it never occurred. I waited till I was done with school.
Only a few will do that. Of course, we have some other people who have the strong will,
True.
to do that, to at least keep to themselves and then concentrate on their education, get jobs to do.
Right.
Even if you start working, that does not mean that the next man or the next relationship you get into it should mean that you should just go to bed with a person. No,
That's true.
it shouldn't be. You must have that personal conviction, to do that. And so, yes, there are people who are principled based on their upbringing.
True.
And there are people who also have decided that they wouldn't do that. But then the majority of people engage in these activities because of peer pressure.
True.
All they know is that they are friends. Some people, they even live, they dine, they do everything with their friends. They are not home.
Right.
They are not home.
That's true.
And so I'll say that just a few, I think just a few will do that. I mean, in our era, this time and age, just a few.
Okay, so speaking of era, obviously, older than I am. So in your era, how was it talking about sex with peers or with even teachers and parents? Because I know back then it was pretty difficult for, it wasn't as, available everywhere as it is now. So how was it back in the day? The communication, the people you had to talk to, the people who give you the advice. How was it back then?
Oh, you are talking about eras. I'm not. I'm just a little over 40.
I'm
but
so sorry.
Well,
I'm so sorry. I made you feel too old. But yes, comparing.
Well, yes. I would say that in those days, there were few mobile phones. And even the few mobile phones that were there, it wasn't that Android that you can just call.
That's true.
And then just go on the internet or do anything.
True.
And then in those days, Accra, it was, is it a busy internet? It's just around Circle area in Accra where you could actually go and sit. Internet wasn't that common.
True.
And so even telephone, you don't even have the telephone. So who do you talk to? What do you see?
True.
The television stations were not that more as we see now.
True.
Telenovelas were not that rampant on our screens as we see now. Look, a lot has changed. A lot has changed. And so those days, yes, we still had people. I mean, my school, we had people who have visitors, and in the car things happen.
May I know the school you went to?
I attended Okwapamai.
Okwapamai, you were doing things in your car. Wow.
Oh no. Well, but just some few people. Only God knows what they were doing in the car.
Well,
of course, we had some people who were doing things. Yes. But I would say that it wasn't as much as we see it nowadays.
Okay.
And you grow. There was issue with teenage pregnancy. There was issue with HIV. Yes, it had gone up. But the youth now are much more exposed
True.
than those
That's
days.
true.
And then the peers. Those days it was there, yes. But I think now, a child, now, 2 years, 3 years has a tablet, knows how to manipulate everything.
Well,
By 6 years, 7 years, knows that I can search for this, I can do that, I can do that. They go on the net and do a lot of things. Our media landscape. I keep referring to the media because now what we see on the media is that bad. Is that bad? And so, media.
I mean, I can't even open my Twitter in public. I can't open my Twitter in public.
What is happening, yes, is that bad. And I usually don't even like the music clips that they show with their bands, everything shown. I mean, the nude, half nude, almost it's that bad.
Right.
And in the afternoon, those days when we come back home, it's GTV and a few others.
Yeah.
And then in the afternoon, they know the time that children close. So you come and then you are watching cartoons.
Yeah.
But now, you switch here is this, you switch that is there. If you don't have multi-TV, even multi-TV, they don't show that much cartoons. It's only DSTV and other people. If you're not privileged to have that, what do your children watch when they come home? You know, and then how do you even regulate what children watch on their phones? And so I'll say that things have changed. And now, this time and this era is more dangerous than before. And the peers, they are their friends. They confide in their peers more than their parents.
That's true.
Because we are not close to the children enough.
That's true.
And so we don't blame them much though, but the danger is still there.
Okay. So I don't know if this might be a little personal, but how did you find out about sex? How did you, was it from peers? Was it from TV? But how did you know about the act? I don't know if your parents also discussed with you, but how did you find out, and how was it? What was being discussed with you? What did they teach you about it?
All right, thank you. My parents never discussed sex with me. What my mom would do there is that when you're standing there with the boy and you come, hey, you have started seeing your menses. If you don't know and you sleep with this boy, you get pregnant too.
That's all she said?
That's all.
And you didn't know
nothing.
The act?
Nothing. And so I read mine in books. And some of my friends who had boyfriends, they go, they come back, and then they come and narrate their escapades and everything.
Right.
And so you are there, you'll be like this. You'll be listening to them.
Did any of them take a toll on you? Did you question yourself?
Not at all.
Not at all. So you waited till you were ready.
In fact, I finished teacher training college way back before so not at all.
Oh, yeah. That's
I
nice.
Wasn't influenced.
At all.
Yeah. And it also depends. It depends on you, the person. You know, those times when you are hustling, you wouldn't even think about getting a boyfriend or any other thing. That thing wouldn't be on your mind. But there were some people who would also go in for boys because the economic aspect of it too is there.
Economic aspect?
Yeah.
What's the economic aspect?
Oh, yeah. It has everything to do with it.
Can you give me some more insight?
Okay. Apart from the social one that we are talking about, the peers, there are some people. So nowadays, I chastise the men. You have the money. You can help. Why do you ask for sexual favors? Why do you want to break my virginity? Why would you want to sleep with me?
Well, they believe that if they are doing something for you, they also expect something in return, because you can't, basically nothing in this world is for free.
If that's the reward you want, then I don't know, but no.
But I'm not defending them.
You know, a whole lot of issues have come up from this. You know, some time ago, there were issues of men butchering their girlfriends because they took care of them. And then at a point in time, the ladies left.
I saw one story
so if you knew you had the money to help such a person go to school, why would you want to go, have a relationship with the person? You could have just helped the person anyway without asking for,
anything.
So the economic aspect of it, some people don't even have a 2 square meal. Even just the one that they will take, it may have to come from somebody, and that person probably may be a man. It may be a man.
That's true.
I would want to hear the views of men. Maybe the next time,
That's very
yes,
true. That's
yeah.
very
We need to get a
another
so that,
episode so that we
another
get a
episode
man
so that we get a gender,
equality.
dimensions of
Yes,
this.
yes.
Because I would
That's
want to
true.
find out from them. Why do you have the money? Why do you have the help, the support? But you would want something in return. And so a lot of these girls, sometimes it's not about peers. It's not about they having the willpower, but more or less they have been coerced, more or less forced. Not a rape aspect, but I need something to survive.
Concrete. Yeah.
And you have that thing that will make me survive. I need food. I need clothes. I need to pay my fees. And you are sponsoring. And so I come and lie down. Whatever you want to do, you do, and then I'll go and I'll have it. And so a lot of the economic aspect, most of the time, it pushes our youth, the adolescents, into getting, not even the adolescents, sometimes even the youth.
Yeah.
You've completed university.
Yeah.
You're not getting a job.
Yes.
You are home.
That's
Somebody, is doing well, whether they are living fake life or true life, you don't know. But you are home. You are frustrated and you go into it. The same thing goes to the men as well, the guys. Some of them talk them into this kind of,
yes.
either breaking their virginity or homosexuals and those kind of things. Because the good money is there. It's so nice.
Right.
It will show you the house, the car, and everything if only you are willing to.
That's true.
They sit down, go back. The job is not coming. The money is not coming. I am growing.
That's true.
And then by the time you realize, they get into something that they wouldn't want to, get into. And so, not only social, but I think economically, people are,
yeah,
they
that's